everybody, welcome back to Life with Lolo. It is time for our weekly recap of The Chi. This is season 3, episode 9, and it was titled Lacking. I think we got one more episode left, and then that's it, y'all. Like, this season has been like kind of up and down. It's been entertaining, and then someone's just like, why? But this one, child, we gonna get to it. I'm gonna tell you how my ass has screamed. Okay, but anyway, it opens up with Keisha. She in the bed. She look like she's trying to sleep or she's sleeping, but she having nightmares. Of course, you know that's understandable. So she screams real loud. Kevin hears it and he wakes up. She wakes up and then she's like, gets her phone and stuff, and she trying to do like this breathing exercise, and it's telling her to breathe in, breathe out, or whatever. Kevin comes in there. He's like, "You okay? I heard you scream and stuff." She was like, "Yes, I'm fine." He was like, "No, you're not fine." She was just like, "Look, get out," or whatever. And he's standing there and he looking at her like, "I know you're not fine, so like what's the deal?" And so then he was like, "You still mad at me or whatever like that?" She was like, "Kevin, get the fuck out of here," or whatever. So then he gets out and she goes back to deep breathing and stuff like that. Then we see Dre and Nina, and I was surprised that Dre and Nina didn't wake up, because I mean the scream was loud, and if Kevin could hear it, why they couldn't hear it? Unless they sleep hard or something like that. But the walls is not that big, thick, and the apartment ain't that big. But whatever. So anyway, it's the next day. We see Dre and Nina. They taking this walk with this group of people over the water and stuff like that. And they cold, child. And then they're like, "Child, you got us out here and doing some white people shit. We should be at home in the warm bed, drinking hot cocoa, watching TV or something like that." And Dre is like, "Well, we gotta get out. We gotta do normal stuff. We gotta get back to, like a new routine and stuff like that." And Nina, she worried about the kids and stuff and getting back to normal. And Dre is like, "Well, the therapist said we gotta redefine normal and stuff like that. So this is what we're doing something different." And then she also said, like, the therapist said that we need to give Keisha her space so she can regain her independence or whatever. So, because, they was all, like, crowding her and stuff like that. So, it's just give her her space, let her get back to doing things on her own type thing. And Dre was like, it's all about keeping one foot in front of the other and keep moving forward and stuff like that. And Nina's like, okay, they kiss or whatever, and then they try to catch up with the rest of the group. Then we see Emmett. He cleaning underneath the tables at Sunny's, because 2 episodes ago, what was that man's name? Zeke. He told them that they was gonna be able to take over Sunny's for a couple months and stuff like that. So they're in there, they're cleaning up, doing like a deep cleaning and stuff. So he's basically getting the gum from underneath the tables and stuff like that. Child, he's staring off into Dom big ol' ass, and he's just looking, and I'm like, what in the world? And at first I thought it was just them two in there. No, child, Jada and Tiffany in there with him. I said, this fool just don't give a fuck. So he's staring at her ass and stuff. And so Tiffany comes around. She was like, Emmett, what's going on? You okay? He was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just tired or whatever. And she was like, oh, okay, yeah, because you have been working late or whatever like that. And so he was like, something about he got to put his stank on it. Don was like, we got to put our stank on it and stuff. And so he was like, yeah, because we a partnership and stuff like that. And they got to come up with a new name. He said he want to get new chairs, new tables, the accent wall. And she was like, we need money first or whatever. So then I think Tiffany or somebody was like, well, we all need to come up with a new name. And he was like, well, we going to name that Emmett and Dom's. And no. Dom had said that we're gonna name it Emmett and Dom, and they was like, no, that's bad luck or whatever. Look what happened to Sunny's or whatever. So they try to figure out a name and all that other stuff. And here Dom goes talking about well, hurry up or whatever, because we need money and stuff. And he was like, oh, okay, well, it's gonna take time because I need some inspiration. Here she go. Well, just let me know if you need some help with that inspiration. I said, oh, she bold. Right here in front of Tiffany. And Tiffany was looking like, And Jada was looking like, So Jada putting the pieces together. Then we see Papa. His dad is preaching and stuff like that. I guess it's Sunday because they up there preaching. We see Ronnie. He's standing there. And the pastor is basically telling Ronnie's story, like how he was homeless. He needed a place to stay. He was looking for forgiveness and stuff like that, but nobody would give it to him or whatever. And then he had had to be a hero and rescue somebody for him to get the respect that he needed and stuff. This dude in the church, child, he like, saving that bitch don't mean shit. You still a murderer. And then he get up and storm out, and everybody like, ooh. And so then the pastor like, pay that man no mind or whatever like that. Something else or whatever. And Ronnie's just standing there, and he doesn't say anything. So Tracy gets up, and she was just like, oh no. Yeah, Trace, did Ronnie say something? I think Ronnie did say something. Yeah, he did say something. He said, let me see if I wrote it down. Yeah, he was like, because he was like, I don't deserve all the credit. I was just a vessel or whatever like that. Basically, he was working through the Lord, you know, to help him find Keisha and stuff like that. And so, that's when Tracy got up and was saying like, well, she was saying all these heartwarming things and stuff like that. And then she was basically saying like, we got this money from our, my group has raised some money or got some money together for you. It's not a lot, but it's a little reward for what you did or whatever. Child, she was giving him the sex eyes the whole time. I said, she know y'all in church, right? Like, she looked like she was about to bow chickie wow wow him right there in the goddamn altar, okay? But, Rose stands up, because Duda and Rose was in the audience too. Rose stands up and she's like, oh yeah, we also have a reward for Ronnie, and we're going to give him $5,000 or whatever for his heroics and stuff like that. Child, the whole I was cracking up because Duda kept trying to talk, or Mr. Perry, I should say. He kept trying to talk to give like some little speech or something like that. But Rose kept cutting him off, and she was like, we need to follow Mr. Davis more and make our city safe for the kids and stuff like that. That's why we need y'all to register to vote and all this other stuff. And so Duda every time, like, he was like, yeah, because he's fixing his suit. And then she would say something. And then he did it again, but the pastor cut him off. He was like, yeah, you ain't doing me. But I was like, well, Mr. Perry ain't talking today. So the pastor cut him off and said something. I forgot what he said. But that was pretty much it for, I was cracking up, though. Because you could see Duda wanted to talk so bad. But they kept cutting his ass off. So then it's Tiffany and Emmett, and he's sitting there trying to come up with different names and stuff, and she's she come in the room, and he started rubbing on her shoulders, massaging her shoulders and stuff like that. Then he want to give her the names of the places that he didn't what the names of what he done picked out. Holy Smokes, Pig Heaven, some other shit. She was like, that is not gonna cut it. Like, none of them is good. Like, you over here doing like giving them amateur porn titles and stuff like that. And he was like, well, we could do a porn title or some shit. She was like, I told you I ain't doing that again or whatever. So he was basically telling her like how she been loyal to him and how he basically feeling guilty that he cheated on her pretty much because she has always had his back. She's always been loyal to him. She hasn't let him down and stuff like that. And she was like, yeah, I got your back or whatever like that. They know, don't worry about it. And then she tells him that she's proud of him. So she like digging a knife, but she don't even know she digging a knife. But Emmett guilty of sin. So he like feeling all these emotions and stuff like that. We see Keisha, she walking somewhere or whatever, and she got on a big coat again, the braids to the back, the big sweatshirt. So she just dressing real down like now. So we see her walking, and then it looked like she was walking through like some warehouse or something like that. And then we see Kevin walking behind her, and she was like, look, you don't need to keep following me and nothing like that. The chances of me getting kidnapped again is slim to none or whatever. He was like, well, I ain't gonna take them chances and stuff like that. I'm gonna follow you and stuff. And she heard something that I guess triggered her, and it sounded like the guy's voice or something like that, because then she started freaking out. So then she started doing the breathing things and try to refocus herself and coping and all this other stuff. And she was like, yeah, I heard what you said, because Kevin was talking to her the whole time. And she was like, I heard what you said. He was like, what are you talking about or whatever? And she was like, the walls are thin. And he was like, oh. And so she was like, I can't believe you fixed your mouth to say that you wish I never came back or something like that. And he was like, well, I didn't mean it. And she was like, yes, you did. And then she going into the store, and he tried to follow her in there. She was like, I don't need you following me. I'm trying to get some tampons. I don't need you following me in there. And when she said that, I said, oh my God. I said, she pregnant. Because I was just like, All that stress you under, like, you would not have no period right now because you under so much stress in your body would just shut down. So, like, I knew that she was getting a pregnancy test. Then we see Duda. He doing like some like community thing or whatever, where he giving his speech about what he gonna do for the city, fix potholes and all this other stuff. Rose was like, well, you know, we can do reparations and stuff like that. And they was like, yeah. So then he was like, well, can you excuse us for a second? And then he pulls her to the side. He was like, stick to the script. And she was like, well, I wrote the script or whatever like that. And he was like, you talking about reparations, these white people will lose their minds. And she was like, it's better than what you talking about. You talking about potholes, nigga. Like, look, reparations, that's gonna get the black vote or whatever. So then we see the pastor, he come up there, he talking to Duda, and he done switched up. Because remember, he was back in Camille. Now he not back in Camille no more. He back in Duda. And he's saying, like, he came to the light when he heard about Camille or some shit he said. And now he done switched it up. Now he backing up Duda or whatever. And so he asked, can he speak to Angela one more time? I was thinking, who the hell is Angela? And then Duda was like, Angela is one for teaching. So Angela some prostitute or some kind of what? Like, who is Angela? So you switched your vote up for some. Come on now. Then we see Papa. He's talking to Ronnie, and then he asking Ronnie, and it's in the same situation, the same little community thing. Well, no, it wasn't a community thing. It was the I guess after church. I think it was after church or whatever like that. But it looked like it was something for Duda, but it wasn't. Because I'm thinking now, because everybody, the same people that was in the church was the same people that was in that little hall area. So it was probably like, not repast, that's after a funeral. After church, where you eating and stuff like that, and then I can't think of what it's called, but that's what it was. It looked like it was after church service, and they was eating and talking and stuff like that. That's exactly what it was, because Papa was there. So Papa was there. He's going to talk to Ronnie, and he was asking Ronnie, like, what's your next move? Like, you got all this money, what you going to do with it and stuff? And Ronnie was like, well, I'm just going down to Springfield. I got this new job down there, so I'm going to go down there, I'm moving soon and stuff. And he was like, that's all you going to do? And he was like, yeah, that's pretty much it. I ain't doing nothing extravagant with it or nothing like that. And then Tracy, she overhears, and then she's like, oh, so I heard that you was moving, like you leaving or whatever. And he was like, yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow night or something like that. Tomorrow night I'm out of here. So she looking all sad and then dumps and stuff like that. The pastor come over there to Ronnie, and he was like, yeah, you got all this money or whatever like that. Don't forget to give to the Lord and stuff. So he was like, well, don't worry, pastor. I'm going to give my 10%. So he going to give his 10% or whatever like that. The pastor like, all right. I said, Lord, if this, child. Anyway, we see Emmett. He in the back. He's talking to Dom up there cooking or something like that. And he telling her, like, we need to talk. And she like, what we need to talk for? Like, what's going on or whatever? And she was like, no, we don't. We ain't got to talk. And he was like, so you just want to act like nothing happened or whatever? And she was like, yeah, I know what happened, but I ain't catching no feelings, nigga. Like, we good and stuff. Emmett all of his feelings. I don't know what the hell Donna put on him, but she done put a whammy on him or whatever like that. Because then she said something about sucking his D, and he was like, well, you seem like you annoyed. What she said, she wasn't going to be on his dick or some shit like that. He was like, well, you seem like you enjoyed it to me. She was like, well, I'm good at what I do. And he was like, well, I'm good at what I do too. And she was like, yeah, I know you all right or whatever. So he, like, all of his feels that she paying him dust. Like, he was just a booty call and stuff like that. So he like, well, I ain't burning down my family structure for you or like that. And she was like, I ain't asked you to. I'm like, Emmett, what? Because that girl, you came to her. Like, she ain't come to you begging you and pleading you to stay with you or nothing like that. I was just like, Lord. And then so they going at it or whatever. Jada comes up behind them, and she like, well, I'm not going to string these lights up by myself or whatever. So she interrupts them, and then Emmett and Jada go outside or whatever. And Jada knows what's up, because then she looked at Dom like, I know what's going on between y'all two. So then we see Rose and Duda. They leaving a little church thing. And she's like, well, what she say? She said, oh, we can make this luncheon at this time or whatever like that. We still got time to make it and stuff. And he all in his feelings and stuff. And he like, look, you just need to stay home. Like, you don't need to come. And she was just like, what you mean? Like, we in this together. He was like, just take your ass home. So then he tells her to take her ass home and stuff. And so she looking like, oh, okay, nigga, all right. So then Tracy, she waiting outside the church or whatever. And she waiting for Ronnie. And he was like, oh, I thought you left long time ago. And she said, yeah, you know, I had to get out of there before they put that plate around one more time or whatever. She was like, but I wanted to stay and, you know, see if you wanted to see your granddaughter, you know, one last time before you go. I would love that. So, they just walking down the street and talking. And I'm telling you, she giving him the sex eyes, child. She giving him the, oh yeah, I want to just jump on top of you, Ronnie eyes. So she flirting heavy. They just talking and walking down the thing. And she's telling him like she going to be sad to see him go and leave and stuff like that. The city won't be the same. And he like, well, my time here is over. I've been here enough. And so then he tells her that he's going to go spread his grandmom's ashes and stuff. And, you know, did she want to go or whatever? And she was like, grandma. She was like, Miss Ethel hated me. He was like, no, I was just her favorite or whatever. So she like, all right, I guess I go or whatever. So she want to go because she want to bow Chicky Wow Wow later on. So she joins them. Yeah, we see Trig run out his apartment or brownstone or whatever. And somebody was messing with his car. Turns out that it's somebody that Jake knew because Jake was with Trig. And Jake, he was like, well, they ain't no crackhead or whatever like that. And he didn't even take nothing. And Trig was like, well, he left something. He left like a baggie of pills. So I guess if Trig got pulled over or something like that, he would have got caught with them pills and would have went to jail. So obviously the boy who ran off is working with Duda, and Duda trying to set Trig up so he can get out of Jake's life or whatever like that. So Jake is like, oh, okay, I got something, I got a plan or whatever like that. So then, where we at? Oh, so then we like the same group with Nina and Dre and stuff like that, and they're saying they're like in a little circle, little powwow circle, and she's saying like lay down your burdens here, you know, let some stuff off your chest for, you know, because it's in this little bit of moments we got left or whatever. So everybody disperses, and I'm about to say Jada. Nina and Dre sit together and they're just talking about their fears and stuff like that. And not Jada. Why do I keep saying Jada? Nina tells Dre that her fear is something happening to her children and stuff like that, and that Dre will stop loving her or whatever. And Dre is like, no, that's not gonna happen or whatever like that. I have a thing for I have a savior complex or whatever. I like to save people and all the other stuff, and I didn't realize I had this problem until recently or whatever. And then I think she said she likes saving broken women or whatever, because then Nina was like, well, if you like saving broken women, you gonna be here with me forever or whatever like that. And so then they kissed and stuff like that, and I was just like, I don't like that. Because then what happens if Nina gets fixed or whatever? Then what is gonna hold Dre there? Because you know, like when somebody fixes something, it's fixed. So then, like, what? You not gonna want her because she fixed, or like was like, yeah, I didn't like that. Anyway, we see Emmett and Jada. They put them the lights in the back or whatever. Jada's asking Emmett, like, what was you and Dom arguing about? He was like, oh, we was arguing about the name and stuff. And she like, you lying. And he was like, no, I ain't lying. She asked him, well, did you fuck her or whatever? And he was like, no, I ain't do that or whatever. And she was just like, you know what? You a hot damn mess. Like, you about to mess up a happy home and stuff like that. He gonna say him having sex with Dom show him how much he loves Tiffany, and that how he wanna build his life with Tiffany now, and that he didn't got it out of the system. Emmett, you need more people. Nobody believes you. Nobody believes you, Emmett. Not even your goddamn mama. And so Jada was like, well, look, because he was like, well, he was saying all that. And she was like, well, you don't gotta beg me for my forgiveness. I'm not sleeping with you or whatever like that. And Tiffany is not stupid, so you better get your lie together or whatever. And then he was like, damn, or whatever. I said, you shouldn't have been. One time, Emmett, you could have just said no. Like, you just had to go in and just, like, come on now, do better. So they we see what's his name, Ronnie and Tracy. They walking along this water or lake or something like that, and he has the urn in his hand and stuff. And she was still telling him like, we gonna miss you and stuff. And he was saying like it's time for him to build his light somewhere else. And he was telling her like this is the last place that he spent with Miss Ethel before he went to basic and stuff. So he goes to the side and he's near the water and stuff, and he has the urn. He opens up the urn and stuff, and he's just talking to Miss Ethel. And he was just like, you know, nobody loved me like you did, Grandma, and nobody ever will. I hope I made you proud. And then he spread the ashes in the water, and then the ashes went down. It was like a real touching moment. It was real cute. Then we see, let me see. Okay, because I had put all my, look, I watched 3 shows back to back today, and I put them all on paper, so I'm trying to make sure I'm about to read y'all the right stuff. But anyway, we see Keisha. She in the bathroom, child. She taking a pregnancy test. She waiting and stuff like that. Nina and Dre come in. Kevin on the couch. He says, you know, like, Keisha's the same. She ain't, you know, ain't nothing happened or whatever like that. And I'm finna go down to meet Emmett down here at the shop and stuff. And they like, well, damn, like, I'm tired of him telling me what he gonna do instead of asking and stuff like that. Dre like, it's okay and stuff. We see Keisha come out. She got the pregnancy test in her hand. They look and they just put their heads down. I said, oh my goodness. Then we see Trig and Jake. Trig dropping Jake off at Duda house, and he was saying like, you don't gotta go through this, you don't gotta really do this, man. And Jake was like, yeah, I know, but I want to do it or whatever. And Trig was like, well, if you feel uncomfortable or something pop off, get the fuck up out of there or whatever. I was like, what's this about? So he drives off and whatnot. And then we see inside, we see Jake trying to get in the safe. So he's trying to get in the safe. He don't know the combo. It keep beeping and, you know, locking him out and stuff like that. Rose walks up behind him, and she like, how you trying to break into a safe you ain't even got the combination to? So Jake looking stuck like, oh shit, she done caught me. Child, she gave him that goddamn combination and walked off. I said, oh, guess it ain't she ain't gonna do the side no more, because she know what's in that goddamn safe. And she gave him that combination and walked off real nice. I said, We see Keisha crying. She's saying that, you know, what's she going to do about this? How she can get this taken care of ASAP. They like, okay, we can make an appointment with Jada. No problem. She was like, I don't want nobody to know. And they was like, okay, well, we can find a different alternative and stuff like that. But this going to stay in the family. Nobody's going to have to know about your business, stuff like that. And they telling her that they'll help her. We see Tracy and Ronnie. They just walking down the street, going down memory lane and stuff, talking about a Thanksgiving. And she get a text message from the Chantel, and she was like, ooh, Chantel texted me back. She said you can come over, we can come over after she get off work or whatever with the baby, to see the baby and stuff. He was like, oh, I would love that. So she says goodnight, and then she walk in the house. I was just like, she gonna invite him in, but she didn't. She didn't. But it looked like she wanted to invite him in, but she didn't invite him in. So I was like, maybe the next day after they meet the baby. So at any rate, we see Trig. He waiting for Jake. Jake come back out in the car with the envelope. And Trig was like, did anybody see you? He was like, no, ain't nobody see me or nothing like that. So he lied or whatever. But for some reason, I don't know why I thought that he was going to put the bag of drugs in the safe. And then I don't know what I was thinking. But it's a folder. They come out with some folder or whatever like that. We see Emmett and Kevin. Emmett is asking Kevin, you know, about Keisha, and Emmett was having some troubles setting up this little iPad thing so you can pay with your phone and stuff. Kevin had to help him out. So they had like a little cute little moment together. Then what was I saying? Emmett asked Kevin about what Keisha was going through, and he was like, well, she just, you know, she's just the same. She ain't really talking to nobody or nothing like that. And Emmett was like, well, just give her some time. And Kevin was like, well, how much time am I supposed to give her? And he was like, as much time as she need, man. It's not gonna happen overnight. Like, be patient type thing. So then Emmett gives another name, talking about Great Smokes and stuff. And Kevin like, no, that sucks. Like, that sound like you selling weed or something like that. So he go back to the bag, I guess, to do something. Then we see Emmett at home. He's staring at Tiffany and the baby sleeping. And child, you can see like the guilt all on his face. Then I guess it was the same night, he goes down to the pawn shop and he's buying a damn engagement ring. I said, Emmett, this is not the way you, like, what? So he buying an engagement ring. The lady like $500 $500. What, you got somebody pregnant or whatever? He was like, no, I ain't got nobody pregnant. Like, I just want the ring. Can I get that ring right there? She was like, well, you can get this ring and for $500 if you give me that watch off your arm too. He was just like, well, my cousin gave this to me before he died. She was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you gonna give me you want the ring? So he gave up the watch and the $500. Then we see Dom and Tiffany, they in the back. Dom putting barbecue sauce on the ribs and stuff like that. Tiffany bringing in the box, and she was like, well, girl, why he got you carrying the heavy stuff or whatever? And she was like, you know how Emmett is or whatever. And she was like, yeah, I know how he is. I said, oh God. Like, the way Dom be talking, I don't know why Tiffany hasn't picked up that there's something going on between them two other than they just doing this restaurant shit together. But she didn't. They go out there because Emmett calls them out to the front to show them the big sign. It's called Smokey's Barbecue or whatever. And she was like, oh, from Friday or whatever. And so he was like, no, like Smokey Robinson, you know that or whatever. So she was like, oh, okay, well, I like it. Okay, so Dom just waddled her big ass back into the police or whatever. And I was like, her ass is huge. Like, huge. Like, that's too much ass to be toting around. I know her back hurt. But anyway, shoot, what was it? Tiffany and Emmett, I think she said she liked it or whatever like that. And so she went inside with him. And then, and I kept thinking they gonna fix the awning because the awning still says Sonny's, but then they had like this little sign that says Smokey's Barbecue. So who knows, child? Because it just looked there wrong for me. Then we see Ronnie. He meeting with the baby, and he having a good time with the baby and stuff like that. The baby mama say that she wants to send a baby to a gifted school or whatever, and Tracy like, that's gonna cost some money, you sure, whatever. She was like, yeah, but I can raise the money, I can do this. And then Ronnie pulls out the $5,000 check out of his pocket. I said, he's just walking around with that shit in his pocket, like, what the fuck? But he pulled out the check and he gave it to her. She was like, oh shit, like, she was excited. She said thank you and stuff like that. Tracy and Ronnie walk out, and Tracy is saying like, that was a good thing that you did or whatever. You ain't really had to do that. And he was like, it was the least I can do. So, you know, she like, well, again, all this lust in the eyes, child. She like, oh yeah, he giving out money, okay. So anyway, she invites him down to Emmett's like grand opening. He unsure about going, but she like, it'll be fun, you know, get you some barbecue and stuff like that. So he says yes, it's a date or whatever. So we see that. We see Kevin, he texting Gemma, inviting her to the barbecue place. She like, no, stop texting me, my daddy reading these or whatever like that. Then Keisha comes in and asks Kevin to go on a run with her because she says she's scared to run by herself. So they go on a run. At first he was like, well, don't be leaving me. She was like, I'll go slow. Child, she left that boy in the dust. He was like, oh, Keisha, slow down. Slow down. I was cracking up. I was like, he had no bike or nothing because he could have rode beside her. But she was leaving him in the dust and she was cracking up. So it was a cute moment. But then when she turned the corner, she saw a bus and then it triggered her again. And so she started hyperventilating and stuff. And then she had to try to like cope and refocus and do her breathing exercises and stuff. And then when Kevin finally caught up, he sees her on the curb and she's like crying and like trying to do her breathing exercises, and then he sits beside her. He don't even say anything. He just sits beside her and embraces her. And I thought that was really dope. I really like that part. What happened? It was the grand opening. They doing some little speech. Dom talking about put this on social media. They cut the ribbon, and then Emmett was like, before we go inside, I got something to do. He proposes to Tiffany. Tiffany looking around like, what? Dom looking like, really, nigga? The baby mamas, because two of his baby mamas was there with their kids or whatever. And they looking like, really, nigga? Like, you going to propose to her? Like, So, she said yes, finally, or whatever. I said, now, if she would have said no, he'd have been looking stupid as shit. Don't do nothing in front of the audience and all like that. You don't know what the person going to say. But anyway, Jada go talk to Tiffany because they, you know, everybody finally went inside. She like, oh my God, you see the ring, something. So she was like, when y'all plan on getting married? She was like, well, you know, I don't know. We just, you know, got engaged and stuff. She was like, well, plan for a long engagement or whatever. So she trying to kind of warn her, but not, you know, she don't want to snitch out her son or nothing like that. So they talking and whatnot. Then we see Zeke, Zeke talking to Emmett, and Emmett's like, yo, such and such eating the food and stuff like that, these critics and stuff. But they talking about they gonna eat for free. And he was like, yeah, man, like they got 4 million followers and stuff like that. They gonna put us on the map. He was like, So Emmett go over there, do like, yo, this food's so good. It's gonna be my favorite hangout spot. So Emmett like, oh, word. He was like, oh, what you wanted, man? You came over here like you had something to say. He was like, yeah, I just want to get like a selfie with you. I've been following you for years. And so I said, I bet your ass did back up. And then we see Darnell. He coming there. He talking crazy, child. Jada like, yo, because he was like, what I missed? She was like, you missed a lot. Your son just proposed to his baby mama. He was like, which one? She was like, which one you think? So then they look over at Tiffany. He was like, oh yeah, the Scorpio. She cheating or whatever. She was like, what? She cheating on him? And then Jada kind of walked away or whatever. Then we see Trig and Jake. They going to Camille's campaign office with the folder. And the one, like the campaign manager or whatever like that, he hops up and they like, well, I want to speak to her. He was like, she traveling or something like that. And they was like, well, when can we speak to her and stuff like that? He was like, you can't speak to her. Jake was like, who the hell is you, nigga? Like, what? So basically the campaign manager, like, anything you got to say to her, you can say through me. So they hand him the folder. He looks at the folder or whatever, looking at the paper. He was like, oh shit, like, what do y'all want for this or whatever? He was like, no, just think of it as a gift. I want to know what it is. And it better not be something stupid like they could have found on a Google search or something like that. It better be some deep intel, like some records or some videos, something on dude to ass. Because he getting too high. Like, look, he up here. He need to be brought all the way down. So I hope it's something good and juicy that make Camille win. Then we see Dom. She telling, because Emmett came to the back. And Dom telling Emmett congratulations or something, you know, on the engagement, whatever like that. And he's still looking at, like, something wrong with Emmett. Because Emmett has feelings for Dom, but he trying to act like he don't, because he's doing all this engagement stuff like that. And she like, well, what you want back here? Like, I got to cook and stuff. He was like, well, I was just checking you on you and see if, like, you was okay or whatever like that. Child, why Darnell come back there? He like, yo, what's up? What's going on? He was like, why you back here, man? I'm looking for a plate. He was like, you go out there, you ain't getting no free food. So then Darnell go over there. He flirting hard on Dom and stuff, and she just eating it up. And Emmett looking all crazy, looking all jealous. Like I said, that's not your girl though. That's not your girl. Like your girl out there with your engagement ring. Like, come on, Emmett, get it together. So they flirting and stuff. He like D&D. We got the same initials. We gonna be all right. I said, oh my God, Darnell ass don't get the hell up out of here. Emmett ends up pushing him out. Then we see Darnell talking to Tiffany and Jada and stuff like that. And he was talking about the ring too small. It looked like it came from a pawn shop. I said, Darnell is a hot ass mess. So then we see Papa, he's talking to Kevin about Gemma and stuff. And he was like, well, I got a plan. Let's do something. We see Keisha, she looking at pregnancy stuff at her, you know, still in the apartment and stuff like that. And Nina sees it and she's like, well, what you having to change your heart? She was like, no, I was just curious or whatever. And so then Nina comes, hugs her and stuff like that. And then lastly, we see Tracy and Ronnie. They get called up to the front of the line and stuff like that. One dude like, yo, I was waiting and stuff. Emmett like, yo, man, chill. This motherfucker a hero or whatever. And Ronnie want to pay for Tracy meal and stuff like that. So she like, oh, okay. So we see Kevin. He out there wasting spoons. Talking about I miss you. And Papa taking a picture. Tiffany talking about the wedding with Jada and Darnell. Then Kevin got the response that he wanted. Because I guess he put the picture on his Instagram. Because Gemma liked the picture. And so he was like, oh, the daddy ain't checking the DMs. So he all in the DMs and stuff like that. Emmett going around checking on everybody. Oh, you like that? The greens? Yeah, you got to mix the greens with the macaroni. Yeah, y'all doing good. More sauce. All right. So he going around stuff like that. We see, at one point we saw Tracy and Ronnie sitting there eating, you know, their meal and stuff like that. So then they get up, they throwing the meal in the trash. Because this is outside. Because, you know, they had set up the whole outside barbecue place. So everybody's standing outside and stuff like that. So this is where all this was taking place. So then they get up, they throw their stuff in the trash. Tracy got her arm linked with Ronnie. They looking real cute and stuff. They laughing and giggling and all this other stuff. Then, pop! I said, ah! My ass screamed because I did not expect that shit. The young dude from the church who said, you saving that bitch wasn't nothing. You still a murderer. Shot Ronnie right in the motherfucking head. blood splattering all over the place. And then the boy said this was with Kogi. Yeah, Kogi. And then he take off running or whatever like that. Tracy on the ground screaming and stuff. Everybody who was outside eating, they done dispersed. Tracy on the ground, Ronnie, oh my God, Ronnie and stuff. Ronnie dead, y'all. Ronnie motherfucking dead. I said, God damn. Like, he was just finally getting his life right. He done became a hero. People was looking up to him. He finally got time to spend with his grandbaby. He was going to move on to Springfield. Like, he got saved. Like, God damn, we only had to kill Ronnie like that. Well, we couldn't have shot him in the shoulder or something like that. The man missed and he got shot in the shoulder. Like, God damn, we just killing everybody. Just killing everybody. First Brandon, but we knew Brandon ass was gonna die. Then some random dude, I don't even know, we knew who he was. He died. Then Miss Ethel, and now goddamn Ronnie. I said, oh child, they ain't had to do my man Ronnie like that. Y'all let me know what y'all felt about the episode down there in them comments. If y'all like this review, go ahead, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button if you're watching this and not subscribed to my channel, and go ahead and hit that notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. All right, y'all, I'm moving on to P Valley. I will talk to y'all in that one. Peace.